Welcome, everyone. It's Tara Diana, and it is our weekly Spirit Essence show. This is the show where I have an opportunity to bring new people to our viewers, to our stage, if you will. And these are people that all connect with me in the body, mind, spirit, the power of three. And today. So for those of you that follow me, you know Tien is part of my world. You know, we call him the wizard. That is his thing, because he creates like nobody's business. Tien, I'm so happy to have you here on the new version of the Spirit Essence show.
Thank you, honey. I'm so happy to be here.
So we're going to start right off because whenever I get with Tien, the conversations are powerful. They are full of information, whether we know it or not. It is just a nice kind of flow to it. So I'm going to start right off. Tien, tell the new viewers a little bit about yourself, what you do, what's your flavor, and how you kind of rock and roll with spirituality.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let's make this efficient. um, my full name is Tien 𝐔𝐩𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh lands. I have been here in Canada for 32 years, and I'm originally from Singapore. So I say that because a lot of my own spirituality is also fed by my DNA background, which is Southeast Asian, Chinese and Indonesian mix. And my grandmas will show up here and there, and some of my dear medium friends, we'll see grandmas hanging out sometimes when they see me. So that's always great to know that they're around. I am a wizard because what I do in life is about transforming base metal to gold, whether it's metaphorically and or energetically and or even in products, because I am a product manufacturer, a gold and silversmith. I also concoct spells. I have oracle decks that I've created. I make soap. So in the world of alchemy, of real life product things, I make things. I make things. So
He
that's
most certainly does.
yes, I make things. That is the world of alchemy and wizardry in tangible form. So that's one aspect of how I show up in the world and how I'm here to share my gifts and to enjoy what I do. And then the other aspect is where I coach and I guide and I give readings for people, specifically in the world of incorporating spirit energy, and I always call it as self as source, where you get to live a magical life owning that you are source. You are, the energetic realm that is the sun, is the stars, is the eternal universe, and really harnessing that energy by learning how to understand this mechanism that we have, and all sorts of other distinctions that I bring people through that incorporate some brain science work, some anthropology, and then of course our spirituality, all incorporated together to ensure that you knock out all your past and get it all clear so that you can really start creating intentionally your life. We have a short life to live on this planet, really, each one of us, and we might as well have a great time. And when you live true to yourself and have a great time of love and joy, you are here for what your spirit said that you were here to do, and the impact you will have on others will be so magnificent, because you won't be dragging your sorry ass around being sad, stuck in your past and blaming everybody, but instead you'll get to shine and have fun and spread wisdom, spread joy, spread light.
I love that so much. I think that's the first time you've ever said it like that. We need to stop dragging her. But you're right. There's no lie detected in that. You are so true. When we talk about things like empowerment and going into ourselves, and some people talk about things like shadow work and all those words that are very popular right now. It really is about going and clearing your space. Right? So that you do shine, so that you do feel empowered, so you can create what is for your highest and best for yourself. So I love that. And I love that you don't let people drag their sorry asses around, because that would be very low energy, low key, right?
We don't need that.
And I want to do a shout out because you talked about all the tangible things you do in the creation. And I want to do this because I own a lot of Tien stuff. Let me tell you, I have earrings and I have rings and I have necklaces. They're all very powerful. Intentions set in them. They feel powerful. They're distinct. So, he may have a collection of magical symbols, but when I get the magical symbol that I'm called to, it's distinctly intended for me.
Mhm.
But I had the most beautiful surprise when I got back from my birthday trip to Whistler. I came back and my children, Ryan and Alana, and my beautiful sister Paula had gone to Tien and got me my whole set. I mean, I've got the
Yay!
earrings and the ring on right now. They got me my whole set of my birth sign, my Scorpio. I'm so Scorpio. It's like
Are
ridiculous.
Scorpio.
I
Yes.
am Scorpio.
That's great. That's awesome.
So I want to say thank you, Tien, for doing the work and putting the intentions into it. I can feel the energy. I love it. And thank you to my lovely family that look after me like they do.
Aw, so sweet.
Okay, let's go on here again. Well, you wear many hats. I mean, there is no doubt. I could have you on probably every week and have something different to talk about,
Something entertaining.
and it would be fabulous, right? But what is the one thing that you provide, be it a service or a product, that you especially are attached to, that you love to share with others?
I think it's not so much a product, it's more about a way of being. What I am passionate about sharing with others is about magic, it's about freedom, it's about joy and choice, and to be
Ah,
your true soul self. That's what I'm always passionate about talking, whether I talk about it in my work or in my teachings and all my, whatever little things that I say on social media. It's always about be you, right? Be yourself, be true, be you, be me. That's my favorite hashtag.
I love that you said choice.
Choice.
Right? People get caught up in lack of choice in their
Mm-hmm.
minds. So we talk about free will. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when people come into my space and we're doing intention setting, and
Yes.
people are coming to me and they're saying to me, well, I set the intention, Tara. And I said, really, did you really set that intention, boo? Because I'm not feeling it. And then they're like, well, I don't really feel I have a choice, or the choices aren't there for me, or I don't like my choice. And it always takes me back. I'm like, you don't like the choice? Well, guess what, boo? You get to move into a different direction with that, don't you?
Yeah.
So I love that you brought that up, because in my space, free will is everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so if you're guiding people in that sense, if you're saying to them, okay, come, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
And you start talking about choice, I find that empowering, just listening to you say
Absolutely.
the word.
Absolutely. And as a person of color, as a racialized person, immigrant with no family, with lots of abuse in my history, as a trans person, as a OG trans person in Vancouver, there has been lots and lots of oppressive and or marginalization and no access for me for decades. And you'd think that's a great person who has lots of great excuses and reasons to say why there's no choice.
Right?
Well, sure, you could say that, and guess what? If I believe that, guess who suffers?
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in suffering, and I did that. I suffered for 20 years until I fully got that it's entirely up to me to choose how I want to be about any situation. So in one of my cards, I do actually say my Wise and Wisest deck of cards. Actually, I'll show it to you. This one, the Wise and Wisest decks. One of my favorite sayings in there is, oppressions happen. Will I be a victim?
Mm-hmm.
Or will I be great? That's choice right there.
I think we
Not
need to
saying,
make that into a bumper sticker.
yeah, well, it's on my card right there. I'll send you a photo of it.
We need to make,
Yeah.
you know what though? That is a beautiful reminder, because let's talk for a second. Humanness gets in the way of everything. We are here, we are spirit here with a purpose. That's why, otherwise, why are we here? And then we get caught up in having that experience. And we really, and when I say we, I'm generalizing this, of course. Some of us have,
It's a human condition.
that's right. And then we get caught up in that human condition, and it's so much easier to sit in that place of, well, I don't love this. I'm uncomfortable, but at the same time, I'm comfortable because I'm more afraid of the work I have to do,
Sure.
right? To move to that next space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that that's what you chose. I really do. Because again, I've known you for a long time, and we've all gone through different stages in this process of human evolution.
Mhm.
And that just hearing you say that makes me feel like, okay, you know what, this is the right person in the right stage here with me at the right time. So I love it.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about alchemy.
Alchemy.
Alchemy is a word that always escapes me, and what I
Mm.
mean by that is that when people say, well, I'm an alchemist, or I always just go to Tien. I'm like, well, alchemy, Tien does alchemy. That's what I know about alchemy. And you'd think, working with spirit and working with magic and working all those things, I'd be all into the alchemy. I just, there's some things I'm good at, Tien, and there's other things I let you be good at.
Yeah, you do what you love, and that's it. We can't do everything. That's ridiculous.
And here's a super
Don't
cute
want to
thing
do
about
that.
me. We were talking about this, a bunch of us the other day at the First United, and we were talking about this, and I was like, okay, so I have a person who does crystals. Yes, I don't have to learn everything about crystals. I have a person who does astrology. Yes, I don't have to learn about that. So alchemy, though, and you do it on a consistent basis. I mean, this is your life's work. This is what you are, a creator. Do you find that you are continuously inspired? Or are there moments when you feel your creative side just needs to relax and take time off? I mean, realistically, that makes sense. You would need that. But are you inspired consistently, even by things that maybe feel uninspiring?
I find the conversation of inspiring a little bit odd for me because I don't quite relate to being a creative or an artist that way.
Do tell.
Yeah, because it's more like just an I'm just guided, just like any spirit workers. We're guided. We're basically told what to do, and then you just do it. And the inspiration or whatever it is. And then through our really creative brains, it gets interpreted into whatever's supposed to show up. So for example, you know, a lot of my artwork, a lot of whether it's my deck of cards is a great example. Okay, so in 11 years ago, I ran into a deck of cards that I found so beautiful, and I said it was like around June that year, and I said, okay, it's time for me to have my deck of cards, and then just let it be, right? I trusted the universe will just let me know when the time was going to happen, and I didn't have any big intentions. I didn't go like into major purpose around it. I just knew what happened. And then as the end of the year started coming by, I just decided to book out a cabin in the rural areas of Egmont. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and create my deck of cards. I have no idea what's gonna come out. No idea what I was gonna do. All I did was I brought my books because there was no Wi-Fi. This was 11 years ago. Nothing there, completely cut off. So I brought my books, my blocks, my pens, my markers, all of that. And I told the universe, I said, you're just gonna tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing limited things because my home is 2-3 hours away, so this is it. I will work with what I got, whatever supplies I have. And then I just listened, right? My body said, okay, Tien, you've had a good sales season, we want to rest. So we rested for a couple days, had the fireplace going and did my yoga and napped a lot and all that. And then suddenly one day I woke up and all these images started coming. And I went, okay, time. So I go to the block, my drafting board, and I just started drafting. I started drawing shapes, and then it all just started coming. You can actually see it in a movie reel, right? Be like, I'm there, and like, all the symbols are falling into my head, and it's coming out through my hands. And that's how the inspiration works. Because I'm not in control. I don't say, oh, here's a duck. I'm so inspired by the mallard duck. I'm gonna make a piece of art with the green and the brown and the red, orange.
Okay, I gotta say that this story, though, I've heard it several times, and it's my favorite story that you tell.
Yeah.
So just going someplace
Yeah.
and just, first of all, napping always sounds good to me, but just going someplace and just being like open, and it gives me a bit of a reminder of how when people say to me, oh, you must be exhausted when you do platform work, you must be tired all the time, having to and it's not like that for me. I
No.
literally, once I start,
Yeah.
my humanness is almost
Yeah.
kind of gone,
I get it.
right?
I
And then
get
I'm
it.
just like, it just comes.
Yeah. Exactly, because when I think that is that beautiful space of the embodiment, what I call embodiment, right? What the 𝐔𝐸𝐽𝐸 Pisces symbol, which I have, and I
Yeah,
don't know if you have, but a bunch of people have the symbol that I've built, but traditionally 𝐔𝐸𝐽𝐸 Pisces with two circles and a line in the middle. And it's all about living your life on planet Earth as a soul being. Yes, so you're perfectly human, perfectly soul, all together, always dancing together. Where when you are so in touch with our so-called limitations, because we do have limitations as a physical body, right?
absolutely.
I cannot, break an iron door, right? Those are the limitations. We live by the planet Earth rules of gravity. Maybe 0.1% knows how to beat gravity, but most of us, you know, we will fall from 10 floors down, we will fall crashing down. I don't care. That's just the reality. But we live in the limitations or the risk of being a human body, but we can know that we can actually live much bigger by how we align our brains and listening to our hearts and all of that good stuff, right? So when you are really aligned, you just listen, because it is, number one, what you are not just called to do, but it's
Mhm.
aligned with who you are. You love doing
Yes.
it.
Yes, baby.
Most people don't love what they're doing. That's why it tires them out.
Yeah,
Simple. You are only tired because you hate your stupid life.
because you're sad and dragging your ass.
You got it. So I can sit here in my studio for 16 hours, and if something's coming, I just go. And then suddenly I will stop. I'm just guided. I will stop, and suddenly I'm like, oh, I guess I'm eating. Okay. I'm sure you experience it.
Absolutely.
I don't think about how life should go anymore. I'm just in the flow because I've practiced it long enough. And the practice is perfectly selfish. You're just listening to what's true for you. That's what I mean by selfish. You're honoring yourself. You only care to do things that bring you joy and that fill you up, that fulfill you, that that
Hmm.
you love doing. You're not gonna like do things that people said you should do. You're not gonna look a certain way because they say you should do that, or you're gonna hang out with a friend because I feel bad. And no, 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 no. You honor yourself. Then everything is clear, and then you're just guided.
That was the hardest lesson for me in all
Mhm.
of my years. I'm a natural born medium. I've been doing this, excuse me, since I was 4 years old that I can remember. And honestly, the hardest thing for me was to separate my need in humanness to give,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
build everyone up and worry about everyone else's stuff.
Yeah.
And once I did that, and I've only done that recently,
Yeah.
it's only
Yeah.
been maybe a year and
Right.
a half that I've really dived into my personal space and myself. Once I did that, everything was different. Once
Totally.
I was able to say, okay, I'm sorry, this doesn't work for you. I can't feed you anymore. I
Yeah.
can't give you any more of me. That made a huge, that was
Very
it.
good. Very good.
And let me say this to you. One of the biggest things that comes to me when we are talking about, when I go online into the private Facebook groups or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I cannot believe I did this. I'm sure that my spirit guide was trying to poke me in the back of my head when I did this. I went in there and I said, and I wrote out, if you could ask spirit one thing, what would you ask spirit?
Mhm, 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 mhm.
And of course, I spent 4 nights answering everyone, right? Spirit had to answer. And a lot of the people were saying to me, I'm lost. Or what's my purpose, Tara?
Mhm.
And it's funny. I channeled immediately a workshop on it. And when
Right.
I went to each one of those people individually and offered them that workshop, maybe out of about 20, 30 people, 4 or 5 actually wanted to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I say all the time, don't, if you're not passionate about it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're of my age now,
Eh,
right? Don't be
Absolutely. Don't do it.
silly.
I remember 20 years ago when I was asked to do this business venture by this so-called spiritual guy, right?
Mhm.
And the first thing I said to him was like, "Is it gonna be fun?" And he was like, had no idea. He wanted like, spiritual higher calling, like, make a difference, like that kind of stuff. I'd be like, no, no, no. I'm only gonna do it if it's fun. If
And
it's not fun, I'm not gonna do it. And it was fine because, he had to get over his ego stuff around it. And he did come around and he was like, we'll make it fun. I was like, okay, great. If it's fun, awesome.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. So you'll see me because that's all I do, right? Like when I do any gigs, and you know that with you, you know, I say yes because it feels right because I know it's going to be fun. And I have to generate the funness for myself as well, right? It's not like, oh, you are going to be so fun, I want to hang out with you, which is great. And then sometimes nobody's really fun to hang around there, but we'll just bring ourselves and we'll make sure fun is present.
Yes, baby. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, so you know what? I jumped the gun when I started flashing my new jewelry and whatnot, but I want to talk about this because this is a fairly new line for you.
Okay.
Um, and I want you to kind of tell everyone a little bit about it. I'm so stoked to have this full set. I mean, it makes me
Mhm.
happy, you
Yeah.
know, as HE double hockey sticks to have this and another pieces and the whole set. I was
All
flabbergasted.
right. What a treat.
I know. But can you tell us a little bit about this new line? What you felt needed to be created? I was gonna say inspired, and then I got all
Oh,
stuck
no,
on it.
whatever. It's fine. That's just an English word that people use.
Tell us about your new work.
Last year, actually, around the end of the year, which is usually, you know, January is when a lot of this kind of so-called creative energy starts to flow because I'm in a little bit of a down, resting space, which is
Mhm.
awesome. Then it's just more chill, right, for me. So end of the year last year, something just said time to go and learn more about astrology. So I was like, okay, fine. So I read some books and I was like, whatever. And then I watched some videos and I was like, whatever. You know, but through that, I picked up some things. And
Okay.
then right away, after the first couple days, you know, I was in the studio watching a YouTube thing, and then suddenly, you know, boom, 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 all these images started coming, apart from your standard astrological symbols. Um, and then I just hit my bench and I just started to make things. So I started to make this thing, and then I went to order, you know, a couple stamps and stuff like that. And that was it. And I knew that I like to have variety in style. When people see my work, I have about 4 different aesthetic genres that I like to cover, whether it's minimalism or some classical lines or some medieval lines. And then you'll have some more specific kind of Asian-y kind of aesthetics as well. So I wanted to make sure I had a few aesthetics and different sizes, different gauges for people to have choice from. And that was all it was, you know. And so I spent January, February making sure my information around astrology. And what was actually very cool was, as I started building the first line, which was your series that you have, what I call
Mhm.
the medallion series. That was the first series that came out, and then another series came out called the sigils, which is more substantial, that kind of like wax engraving, only comes
Yeah.
out a ring and a necklace. And then the star band, which is a simple band with one stamp. um I had those 3, and then I came up with a really great line called Cosmic. Oh my god, that's great. It's just a one-off piece. It's a sweet little piece with all 9 planets and the sun, Chiron, and the moon. It,
Ooh, Chiron.
yeah, it's a very sweet piece, and it's one of those that people will notice. Only specific people will notice. I think
Mhm.
it's a jester. It likes to pop in and out of the dimension, you know, and it will show
Yeah.
up and it won't run away, and it's quite funny. But um as I made this piece, as I made through all of these, the first medallion series, I had to learn about the symbols. I had to remember what the symbols were. And as I did that, the information about what the astrological symbols were, and in conjunction with the houses and the planets, all just started coming through me. It was wild. Like, I just started knowing, oh, that's what Jupiter means. Oh, that's what, you know, that's what Pluto's. Oh, that's what, you know, Virgo is or Scorpio is. And then I would check back in the books, and there it is, right? I'd be like, oh, wow, you know, the information's just coming. So that's also part of this magnificent world we live in, where we don't need to learn by reading something. And that's how I'm used to learning. I don't, people over the years, I've always told different trainers and business people, I say, never send me anything to read. I'm not going to read it. Send it to me in a graphic. If there's fun little cartoons, I will read that, right? Or if it's a fun little movie, I will read it. But if it's just words, doesn't mean anything to me. It's not
Mm,
picturesque. It's got to be picturesque in its description. Then I'll retain, because I'm not a neurotypical thinker.
right.
But what we forget is that our brains and our learning capacity is so diverse that information can come without even us needing to go to find what it means. It comes. So this was a great experience building these astrological symbols. I started to know what Pisces was about, what any of those things were about. It was wild. So it was a great journey. And this lasted about 4 or 5 months into like February into April last year. And finally the line got completed because, I had to build one of every single one, right? And of course there's like 12 symbols. Now I have to build 12 rings for the medallion, 12 bracelets, 12 earrings, which is 24, and then 12 necklaces. Oh my God. There was so much building to be done. So it was awesome. Just steeped in this alchemy of the silver and the fire and the zen and the flow of it was just such a beautiful treat to go through this year.
Oh, it sounds powerful though. When
Yeah.
you're talking about it, I get shivers. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is great.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed, as I said, I'm blessed to have it.
Great line. Yeah.
Tien, I love this question. This particular question I ask a lot of people that are in the spiritual world with me. And I feel you're the right person to ask this question of, what is one thing about the spiritual or metaphysical world that almost no one agrees with you on?
I don't know if I can say, I if we were to backtrack 10 years, even 6 years ago, I'd say the thing that a lot of people had a hard time with was my declaration that soul has no gender.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
People had a hard time with that, particularly those who are all about the feminine and masculine kind of stuff. They really want to genderize soul and genderize energy, and there's no such thing. So, but now we are evolving as humanity. I've known this for a long. That's why I'm a pioneer. I've taught this for 20 years with tons of people mocking me and treating me like crap because this is what I stand for. You to be pure soul is choice. You can be free, right? So that was one thing that people had a hard time, but now people are finally starting to come around. So yay.
Well, do you know what's interesting about that?
Mm.
Is that I've never thought of it that way. So I mean, never thought of the soul or source or anything like that being male or female per se.
Yeah.
So spirit can come in to my space and can represent a specific gender.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're showcasing who they were in this life. Absolutely. Yeah. But I've never thought when I channel, I've never thought of it as a gender. I've never said, oh, she or him.
Yeah, great.
It's always been source. It's just
energy. It's energy. You're correct.
Isn't that interesting? And I've never thought of it though. Like I've never
think about it. You'll see lots of conversations in the spirituality world where it's all very genderized.
And sure it is. They love the divine feminine, right? Because it represents this. And they love the masculine because it represents that. I find that when they use those, they don't even use it for the most part in the right ways.
Yeah.
Right.
All they're doing is perpetuating all sorts of, heterosexist and cissexist and, all of those beliefs that are very earthbound. It's not at all source. The concept of gender, man, woman, male, female, feminine, masculine is all earthbound.
For sure it is.
It's not energy. Energy is nothing.
And it's how you receive too. I think that's another thing people, individuals get confused with when they start talking about the divine feminine and masculine. Is it's how you're receiving, but that's how you're receiving. Right. And I feel that people get misconstrued in all of that. But that was a great answer, Tien. That was thought-provoking, sir. Okay. So we're going to bring this to a close, but I want you, my friend, to tell everyone, and it's going to be my beautiful assistant, Vanessa. Did I tell you, friend, I just hired a second assistant for the love of the great goddess?
That's so perfect.
I'm going to be just creating now and let everyone else worry about the muggle stuff that I can't do.
Let them look after the things that you're not interested in doing.
That's right. That's right. Based on our conversation. But tell us how we can find you, please.
Oh, great. I have, I'm very easy to find. Number one, even my name is not as grammatically Latinized or Englishfied, Anglofied. Tien, Tien, Tien the Wizard. You can find me there. You can just Google that, or you can just my full name, which I won't bother saying. 𝐔𝐩𝐜𝐲𝐸𝐴S. We'll also find you there. I will, you can just plug in my website, which is tienthewizard.com. It's probably the easiest way to find me.
Yeah.
I am on social media, and any of them will just all link up to me. So it's easy because I am the only Tien Neo Emas in the world. So it's easy to find me.
Easy
And yeah,
peasy.
and Tien the Wizard website has all sorts of goodies in there, and of course a direct link to how to contact me, email me, and just get in touch with me. So, and then once you start following me on my socials, especially on Instagram, you just get to know a lot more, and how to connect and how to see pieces and how to actually direct message me and chat with me, and I'll see me at live events.
Beautiful. And Tien does do a lot of work with Spirit Essence. He comes to our summits, some of the, I don't do a lot of the fairs anymore, but some of the other type of events we do. And he was a part of the big Fairmont experience that we had. And I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. And looking forward to working with you in the new year. Wishing you happy holidays, my friend.
Thank you, sweetie. So happy to be part of your clan.
Thank you. And to all the people watching, stay divine.